Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Welcome to yet another episode of you and me checking out gear in my basement. So today, thanks to Barry once again, we are going to check out the differences between this Epiphone 335 that he bought for $7.99 plus taxes from our local Long and McQuaid. So you're talking just under $1,000 after taxes. Yeah, and versus the guitar that he just recently took on trade, which is another full hollow body kind of jazz style guitar. This is an IYV. So just looking at it quickly, the similarities, they got two chrome humbucking pickups. This one has the tailpiece, which that one doesn't have. I'll go over that right quick. So the similarities, they have two F-holes. They have the same type pickups. They have 3-in-a-side tuner. They have binding on the neck, 24 3/4 inch scale, fretboard. You know, the same style of pickguard and set neck. So this is a set neck, and as is the 335. The 335 as well, as you can see, has, you know, chrome pickups. This one doesn't have the tailpiece. It has a stop tailpiece with two-pneumatic bridge, but they do both have the 2 volumes, 2 tones. Selector switch is down here on the 335. It's up here on the 300. This has vintage tuners. The other one has more like Goto style tuners. And again, like I said, binding on the neck. And this is 24 3/4 inch scale. Some of the things that I've noticed, so fit and finish. Okay, so this one has no binding around the headstock, binding all the way down the neck, single ply white binding front and back, no binding in the F-holes, and I don't know if you can see that. The inside of the F-holes are painted, and they made a lot of kind of mistakes inside there. Like if you want to nitpick, there's some areas where the black is on the red. There's some areas where the red is on the black. So it's really not, you know, not what you would call a pro job by any means. I don't know if you guys can see the inside of that. You can see where the black spilled over the red. Down here you can see where the red is kind of spilling over the black. I know the lighting's not fantastic down here in the basement, but it is what it is. So yeah, so that's the, you know, fit and finish is okay. I didn't see anything bad. The fret ends look good on the guitar. However, Barry told me that he had to take a file after he got this thing home and played it a little bit. He had to take a file and actually file down those fret ends because they were cutting into his fingers literally. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. I've never seen a guitar quite that bad, but I can't speak to it because I didn't really see it. This one obviously has only one horn. It's just a single cut. The body's a little bit smaller. Both guitars weigh 7 pounds, by the way. I weighed them on a digital scale, and they both came in exactly 7.0 pounds. How accurate is that scale? I don't know. But anyway, weight-wise, very similar. Again, set neck. This one obviously is a burst finish, front and back. This one has 5-ply binding around the front and the back, single ply binding around the F-holes, and if you want to take a look at that, check that out. How, you know, pretty much perfect that is, up and down, and the bottom one is the same. And it has single ply binding all the way up the neck. Again, 5-ply binding around the headstock. So I got to tell you, in this guitar, so the 335 was $7.99 plus taxes. So you're here in PEI 15%. You're looking at just under $1,000 for that one. This one, Amazon, free shipping, 157 bucks. So we're looking at two guitars that are similar. I know they're not identical models from one another, but they're similar in the way, you know, F holes, pickups, etc., scale length. But the Epiphone is 10 times, oh, okay, we'll say 9 times conservatively, 9 times the money of this one. Yeah, so let's see if it's 9 times better. So, all right, I'm just going to run through my Quilter Super Block. You guys have seen some of my videos. And if you haven't, I just basically use a Quilter, you know, whatever. And I don't know how this is going to come out, to be honest, because I'm using my iPad. Something's wrong with my phone. It'll record for like a minute, 40 seconds, and then it just stops recording. No warning, no nothing, it just stops. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to crank this up. Bridge pickup. Oh, we got some tone. Just a sec. Got to shut the door here. I don't want to bother anybody. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that I do not edit. I want this to be like you and me in my basement checking out some gear, and I wouldn't edit that if you were really here. So why would I edit my videos? I'm not worried about looking good or sounding good because it is what it is. And like that's just the reality of life, right? So I'm not using super expensive gear. I don't use any processors, effects, recording software. I want this to be as realistic as possible so that people in their basement, like myself, who are interested in gear, have a good idea of what it's actually going to sound like if you're using, you know, a 1x10" cab, which is right behind you there, and a little Quilter Super Block. No effects, just straight up. So anyway, so here it is, clean on the bridge pickup. The bass string is very flubby on this. Hear how nice and clean the upper strings ring up, but then the lower strings are kind of. I don't know if they're all like that, or I have no idea. These are not styles of guitars, either one that I would buy. So I'm not biased like towards one or another. Like I could really care less. I'm a kind of a telly guy, solid body guitar. I'm not a big fan of these big bodies and F holes. And I have a telly with has an F hole. You might have seen it. It's an IYV actually, and I only bought it because it was 175 bucks, and I was just curious. And that was like over a year ago, and I still have it. It impressed me that much. I kept it. But anyway. But I love this 24 3/4 inch scale length. Man, it's so easy to play for my little hands. Wow, check out if this is normal or not. See, my guitars don't have tunematic bridges on them, so I don't know, but so can you guys see how, let's see if I can tilt this up somehow so you can, do you see how high off the bridge these saddles are? Like, I know you can't adjust them, you can't really adjust them up and down, you got to move that whole piece up and down, but they're like very, I don't know, they're sticking up a lot, and they're sharp. The edges are sharp. My palm kind of digs in there, and I don't really like it. I feel like I want to move my hand up, but then it feels like a weird playing position. But I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe I have to be filed down a bit. idea of the clean sound. Check this one. So I did a review of just this one when Barry, a buddy of mine, owns all these guitars, and he's retired and he wants to learn how to play guitar. That's his goal. Man, he's got a lot of nice gear. He's got some super nice stuff. And he asked me if he saw my channel and he asked me if I want to do some reviews with his stuff. And I'm like, sure, absolutely. I said, I'm definitely not a professional, but I love gear. I love playing with stuff. Oh, this is the middle position. Hey, look. This one is not flubby. Position since I have this guitar out. Wow, that's nice. Sounds good. $157 on Amazon, free shipping. Middle position, $799 plus tax at Long and McQuaid. I think I saw one of these. Now I don't know if they're different. I saw the same guitar on Amazon, but it has a little, looks like a little boat anchor or a little letter E. I guess maybe it's a fancy E in chrome on the plate here. And I think it says Pro. So I don't know what the difference is, but the guitar looks identical. It was same color, other than it was the 335 Pro. And that one was $11.99, I think. That's, it's up there. In playability, other than this freaking bridge just digs into your palm like crazy. I don't notice it on that one. I don't know why. Oh, the saddles are just really short on this one. So the saddles on the IYV barely stick out of the, what do you call this, like the two-pneumatic piece or whatever, whereas this one, they're up there. Like there's a good, I don't know, this is good, probably, that'd be 1/8 of an inch maybe, that's kind of sticking out, and it's a sharp edge. It's like a triangular edge on the bridge or the saddle right before the groove of where the string sits in, and you really feel that on your hand. Kind of, it just, I don't know, it just bugs me a little bit. But as far as playability, they're the same. Okay, neck position. Ooh, it's like volume boost all of a sudden. kind of break it up. Wow. Nice. Again, it's not really my style of guitar, and I can't play jazz stuff or classical stuff, or I can't play most stuff. I like jamming, it's fun. Neck. This one's kind of loud too, it's borderline breaking up. Not as much as this one though. Not as much as the 335. Tuning stability on both guitars are pretty much the same. Just this bridge is like I don't feel it on my hand at all. I mean I feel it, but it's not digging in. So other than the bridge, again, playability is like the same. Let's add some gain to this. See what happens. Alright, so we're gonna crank the gain. We're gonna lower the volume here. Put it on Marshall setting. Alright, see what happens here. So this is Marshall setting on my little Quilter Super Block. All the EQs still the same. I just lowered the volume and upped the gain. And here we have the IYV. Wow, punchy. Very crisp, clear, punchy tone. Let's try this one. Same thing. Bridge pickup. very, very bright. I think these pickups might be a little louder than the IYV ones, but they also come with a little bit more more harshness. I probably want to dial down the treble and the mids on the amp there, maybe, if you were actually setting it up. But I want to keep them the same to compare the two guitars. This is the middle position. It's annoying. Let's try the neck while we have it. Oh, that's nice. Wow, it's got some punch to it for sure. All right, we'll just double check this one, and that'll be it. You guys get the idea. All right, so again, this was the bridge. And this is middle. Here's the neck. Not quite, I think, not quite as punchy as the 335, but not bad. Well, guys, I don't know. I I think these two guitars are really cool. I think you know. Here, let me kind of get these in the shot for you. Oh, how far back I'm gonna have to go here. I guess maybe you won't get to see them, but so both these guitars clearly rock. I know they're more of like a jazz guitar, but you know, like Two Bike Mike mentioned in one of the comments that he had left on one of my videos. It doesn't really matter what guitar you play. You're gonna play like you play, and if you play country on a jazz guitar, it's gonna sound like country. If you play rock on a jazz guitar, it's gonna sound like rock. Depends on how you set the amp up. I know some guitars are more, you know, kind of geared for certain things, just like some vehicles are geared for certain terrains. But the thing that gets me is, and I'm not advocating for IYV, but it's just these guitars don't have $900 in the difference. Not even, I don't know if it'd be $10 in the difference, like performance wise, comfort wise, feel wise, fit and finish wise. There are flaws in this one. There's I don't know, I'm sure if I look hard enough I'd find some in this one. There's a few flaws in this one. But to be expected at $157. This one at $7.99 plus tax, I would expect no flaws. The setup on both are really good. My buddy Barry said that he had to file the frets on this one, whereas this one just came perfect. Like the fret ends were good. So both guitars right now, there's nothing. Actually, on this one, on the 335, as you get higher, like the higher frets, it's harder to file down. You can feel them. You can feel those sharp edges. Whereas this one, they're recessed all the way up the neck. There's no issue whatsoever. I know both guitars are a little different, but double F howls, 2 volumes, 2 tones, chrome plated pickups, similar headstocks, like similar weight. I don't know what the woods are like, but it just, these guys are either underselling themselves or these guys are marking up and ripping us off like crazy, because there isn't, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much of an Epiphone fan you are, there is not $900 more guitar over here. Not even close. Not even close. It just blows my mind. Now, it might sound like I'm advocating for IYV, or I'm kind of a little more biased. I wouldn't get either one of these guitars. I like them a lot. I like the playability. I like the feel. But it's not my style. It's not the type of music I play. It's not. I like a bolt-on neck. Telecaster style guitars. Different versions of Telecasters. I'm just not a fan of these guitars. I've never owned one. I've never bought one. But Mr. Man, I gotta say, they're nice. They're nice to play. I can't see myself going to a gig and playing 3 hours with one. I feel they're really big, like compared to a Tele. Like this one's a little bit smaller than this one, but still they're big. Like they're big bodied guitars, and it's just not my thing. But as far as fit and finish, and as far as just sound clips, playability, this IYV is hard to beat for $157. Like I don't know. Like if I was Epiphone putting these guitars out with this kind of quality for $799, and I knew that there was someone out there selling guitars direct to the buyer, bypassing the stores for like 9 times less, right, for the price, I would be extremely concerned. I know Epiphone and Gibson have nothing to worry about. People are going to buy it because it says Epiphone on the headstock, and they're going to assume they're getting their money's worth, and that's fine. But I think if IYV plays their cards right, they're going to upset, and not just IYV, like a lot of these companies, like IYV, Donner. If these guys just step up their fit and finish, And maybe the quality of the components in their guitars, if they just step that up a little bit. So as opposed to being $157, the guitar would be $257, but would have much better electronics and maybe a little more detail on the fretwork and maybe some better tuners. That's still a lot better than $799 with some obvious issues and blemishes. Like I don't know. I just and as I'm getting older, like I'm 51 now, like as I'm getting older, I'm obviously cheaper. I have a couple of kids and I have family and they like to go on trips, they like to do stuff. So I can't just go out and buy all the gear I want, although I'd love to be able to do that, but I just don't have that kind of financial independence. Unlike most of you guys at home. And if I buy something, it's paid for. Like I don't put anything on credit. I'm not like I just don't do that. It drives me nuts. So a lot of times when I want to buy something or buy something new or a new gear, a new guitar, I have to sell something. So I only have 3 guitars that I play, and 2 of them are super cheap. One's an IYV, one's an IRT, and one's a super expensive custom, one-of-a-kind handmade guitar that I had built just for me with the specs I wanted. So I do buy really high-end stuff. I just I'm very limited, right? So for someone like me who would want multiple guitars, this is obviously, for me, it makes much more sense when I can compare the two and see that there's very little difference between the two. Why would I spend, after taxes, almost $1,000 of my hard-earned money for a guitar that I could get the same out of by spending a couple $100? It's just, so if I had to make that choice, I would definitely go this route, because I'm going to mod this one just the same as I would mod that one. You guys know, if you guys play guitar, you know that the guitars that you buy stock in a store off the shelf are not built for you. They weren't built for your ears. They weren't built for the tones you like. They were built with some, I don't know, right? they were built with your specs, not in mind. You might like the body style, you might like the playability, but guaranteed you're going to be changing tuners, you're going to be changing volume pots, you're going to be push-pulling, adding some push-pull pots, you're going to be adding different pickups, you're going to be, right? That's just what we do as guitar players. We try to make stuff our own. It's a curse, man. Some people call it gas. We have bad gas, gear acquisition syndrome. So anyway, but I gotta say I am super impressed with both of these guitars, because they're not guitars that I would buy myself or even give a second glance at in a music store. I would just walk right by these. But having played them now, like I'm very impressed with both of them. I wouldn't expect anything less for $900 or $1,000. This one just impresses me because going from one to the other, there's literally no difference. Sound-wise is minute. Playability-wise is the same. Maybe even a little better here because the bridge doesn't dig into my hand. The feel of the neck, the size-wise, playability-wise, or I guess I meant scale length, like it's the same. Tuning stability is the same. Switches, everything feels the same, like quality-wise. It's not like, oh my god, this switch is so cheap. Oh my god, this switch is so awesome. It's a switch. It feels the same. Like I don't notice, Now, durability, how long are these going to last? Will this last 10 years and this will start having issues after 5? Maybe, I don't know. I would be very surprised, but anyway. So that's it, guys. That's my 2 cents. And I'm speaking like, a gigging musician, but also as a father who has a couple kids and a family and who likes nice stuff, but just has to watch their budget. So for me, companies like this, putting out products this good for such little dollars is a godsend, because it allows me to maybe go out, buy a little bit more gear. And the beauty of Amazon is if I don't like it, I can send it back. A lot of times at my local music store, they don't have a big offering, so if you have to special order something in, it's 10% down and it's not refundable. So, you know, if I were to buy this for $1,000, you know, 10% of $1,000 is $100 to get it in. You know, if they don't have it. In this case, they did have it, but you know, I'm looking at a Dr. Z-Rec Junior. That's my dream amp. I would love to have a Dr. Z-Rec amplifier. I can't really justify the real Z-Rec, the 30 watts. I would never play in a venue where I'd have to, you know, where I could use that. But the Z-Rec Junior is, oh man, it seems like the perfect amp, and I'm dying to get one. The closest place here in Canada that has one to me is Quebec City. To have Quebec ship it here, that's not a problem. Like from Long-and-McQuaid to Long-and-McQuaid, that's not a problem. Problem is, our Long-and-McQuaids don't stock the Z amps. They sell them on their website, but they don't stock them. So if I get it ordered, I have to pay 10% down, and that's not refundable. Well, that head alone is $2,900, and I have to pay 10% after taxes. So I'm looking at $345 out of my pocket just to try this head. And if I don't like it, or if it doesn't live up to a $3,000 amp compared to my $300 quilter, I don't want it. If I'm going to spend $3,000 on an amp, even though it's my dream amp, it's going to have to really knock my socks off. Especially this freaking compression sock because of my tendon injury. It's going to have to knock that sock off. I'm going to go, holy smokes. I plug into my quilter. Wow, I plug into this amp. Oh my gosh, that's worth, you know, $2,700 more than my quilter for sure. Otherwise, it's going back. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to spend the money, I have to be wowed every time I plug into that thing. So I'm kind of going down a bunch here, but it's just to say that these super kind of brand name guitars and brand name amps are selling at prices that don't really justify how good they are. Sorry. But you shouldn't have to file the fret ends on a $900 guitar, guys. Right? You shouldn't have to set the intonation unless you change string gauges. But when that thing comes out of the store, action, intonation, playability, fret ends, like nut slot, all that should be addressed at a $900 price point. At a $157 price point, I could see that those would be some issues you might have to resolve. It's $157, you know, what do you expect? But I don't have to resolve those issues, right? It's like, wow, what's going on? Anyway, it's cool time. It's a cool time to be a musician because there's a lot of cool options out there. But anyway, guys, God bless. Love the comments. Keep them coming. You know, good or bad. You know, I don't pretend to be, you know, super knowledgeable. So I'm just a guy who loves music and likes sharing information. And thanks again, Barry, for letting me use your instruments and trusting me with them. And to be able to do these videos for, you know, whoever might be watching. So you guys take care. God bless. And you know, enjoy the nice weather because summer will be gone before you know it. Anyway, take care, guys.